Hey guys, what's up? So I wanted to make a video because I was I wanted to help people understand ghosting. Mm, Like, okay, I was in a relationship for almost 3 years just recently, and a lot of things that I learned from the person made me learn a lot about myself. Um it was able I was able to see things differently, and from his own self-worth issues, I was able to see my own self-worth issues. So I'm not going to argue here and be like, oh yeah, ghosting, you're an asshole, blah, blah, blah. Like, yes, it hurts. I get it. But it only hurts more when you don't have any self-worth of your own. So the reason why I'm saying that is because, a lot of people get hurt with their self-worth and their self-esteem and their confidence. And it's like, if you don't have the right kind of mindset in order to overcome that, it's nice when you can have videos of people that have either been through it and healed and can look at it differently or look at it for what it really is. So a lot of times in a guy's case, I think well, see, okay, I'm not going to sit here and be like, no, the person that ghosted you is a jerk and, whatever. I'm not going to sit there and fight with people and be like, no, they really just didn't want you. And I'm not going to sit here and say that guys and girls are any different than each other when it comes to ghosting or any kind of cheating or anything like that. So I'm sweating. I'm sorry. I was just doing the whole like TikTok dances, like told you. I'm sitting there like doing it. I didn't make any videos of it yet, but I was doing it. So I'm like sweating. But no, anyways, when it comes down to our self-worth and how we think about ourselves, that's the kind of people that we attract. So when you're doing, affirmations or anything like that, it's I always tell people don't do affirmations, do subliminals, because subliminals you can listen to and you can have like a rainforest or an ocean or the rain or, like some other like sulfurigo frequency, hertz, like whatever. If you try to listen to any, try to listen to 432, 963, 528, like those kind of ones. But they have the binaural you have the binaural beats, you can have all of it. I like subliminals because when you have to change your belief about yourself or something or anything like that, unless you can do it on your own because you learn your own self-worth or you get to a point where you can, it's not going to be that easy. So when we do affirmations, in order to believe or have the affirmation come true, we have to believe it ourselves. Subliminals, you can clean the house and not even pay attention to the music, or you can go to bed and listen to it at night, and all it does is you hear, I like the rain, so all you'll hear is the rain or thunder or whatever, but what's underneath it are the affirmations that are trying to be reprogrammed into your brain so that it becomes your reality. So instead of having to force yourself to believe these affirmations and practice them and say them over and over again for 21 days, blah, 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 you can listen to a subliminal and it will go right through your subconscious mind without you having to even do it. And it picks it up and it's on repetition over and over for like 8 hours. They have them 10 hours and you just listen to it while you're sleeping over and over. It just goes straight into your subconscious brain. So those are really important in my opinion, and my experience. I've done a lot of rejection ones. I've done a lot of self-doubt ones. I've done confidence. I've done breaking bad habits. I've done cleansing negativity. Over the years, I've done all that. But when it comes down to when people are treating you not so nicely, and even, if you were treating them nicely or not or whatever, it still comes a time and point where like boundaries, self-respect, like all that really comes into play with your self-worth. So if somebody's treating you like garbage and you're just letting them, you're not going to really have that much self-worth for yourself. You're not really going to have that much respect for yourself. Especially when we're people that are used to being in abusive relationships, right? If we have beliefs from our childhood where we were abused emotionally, physically, sexually, mentally, you know what I mean? So it's like those beliefs are stored in our subconscious mind, and that's why it's so hard to get out of those beliefs, because we're so used to them and we're on autopilot for them that we don't even realize that that's how we're living. So it's like, if you can have the enlightenment or spiritual awakening, or not even just realization that that's what's going on, or, you know, trauma therapy or trauma something, and your therapist can explain to you, yeah, well, you know, our subconscious mind rules 95% of our freaking like reality. So if you're living off of 5% of conscious mind, you're only living consciously 5% of the time. So it's like, when we make decisions, normally we're doing it in our subconscious mind, and we're not taking the deliberate, whatever. We're not deliberately making our own. Like, we're just autopilotly, like, doing our thing, right? And we don't even realize it. And I am definitely somebody that did this, and I get it. And now, you know, the more conscious I got of my behavior and my reactions and my triggers, I was able to sit with the feelings, heal them, move on, and do something differently. So I would come into confrontation or fights, and I became a person that really felt for the other person. And it's not healthy, but it can be. It's healthy in a way of it's not healthy when you let them get away with everything and you excuse them for their behavior because of their own trauma, right? That is unhealthy way of doing it. The healthy way of doing it is understanding where they're coming from their unhealed traumas and triggers, but at the same time, understanding that you still shouldn't be being treated like that, and to take a stand for yourself, right? Because you have respect for yourself. You love yourself enough to say, hey, you can't treat me like that, but I understand where you're coming from, but it's still not okay. And also doing that, it's also, oh my gosh, it's also easier to be able to forgive. Because when you are dealing with a person that has no self-respect, self-worth, self-esteem, like high self-esteem, whatever, for themselves, confidence, then they're going to act out of a place of wounding, and they're going to act out of a place out of trigger, and they're going to act out of a place of auto default. And that's just how it is. And until those people can heal themselves, and they can face their triggers and go through the pain and, you know, sit with their feelings and everything like that, it's not gonna change. So sometimes you have to walk away from people that you love, because it's like, it's not worth it. If you don't want to do the work for me, or not even for you, they should want to do it for themselves, because you don't want to live like that. But if you don't want to do the work, then you gotta go, you know what I mean? So when it comes to ghosting, I don't know about girls, because I've never been a girl to ghost, okay? I ghosted. If I'm not going to talk to you, I'm going to tell you I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not just going to disappear. I honestly don't think I've ever ghosted anybody. I really don't think I did. The 3-year relationship kind of thing that I was just in, I wouldn't even say I ghosted him, because he ghosted first. So then I was just like, okay, well, if you're not going to talk to me, what makes you think I'm going to talk to you? I always ended up talking to them eventually, still ghosted, but it didn't matter. So what I've learned on a guy's side, because I'm a girl dealing with guys, is that it has to do with them feeling like they're not good enough. So when a guy ghosts you, it's not because you're not good enough, and it's always looks like that because they don't want to admit that they think that you're too good for them, or it's too good to be true, or something like that. So they make it look like it's you that's the problem, okay? And that could be a narcissistic quality that they have, or it could just be the way that they deal with things. And again, if that's a habitual thing and that's how they've learned to protect their feelings and protect their heart, that's what they're going to do, because it's always worked for them. until they meet somebody that has self-respect, and then they're going to call them out on it, and it's either going to go one or two ways. They're going to choose to heal, and they're going to, whatever, or they're going to continue to do the same thing, and you move on. But the thing is that don't ever take it personally when somebody ghosts you, because usually it's because they like you too much. It has nothing to do with the fact that you're not good enough. It has to do with the fact that you're too good enough and that they don't think that they're worthy of you. So it has nothing to do with you not being worthy of them. So try to remember that if anyone ghosts you again, because it's not easy to be ghosted. It's not fun. It's not, especially if you thought you guys had something and it's like, you're not wrong. You did have something, but it was probably too strong for the guy. Their emotions could have been really intense, really strong, and just they couldn't deal with it. So you have to take it with a grain of salt and let them go. If they come back, they come back. If they don't, move on. You know what I mean? But don't chase them, because then it just hurts you. They don't care because they like it, because they're thinking, oh, well, this person's too good for me. And then it's like, then you chase them, and then it shows to them that you don't think you're good enough. And so then they can take advantage of you, and then they can treat you like crap, and you'll keep going because you want them to, you know what I mean? So it's like, when that happens, you can't really blame the other person, because that's your choosing to do. So when it comes to that, you're on your own. I can only tell you from experience not to chase. If they want to walk away, let them walk away, because there's a reason why they're walking away. Also, they could have somebody on the side. Unfortunately, I don't like bringing this stuff up in my videos, but they could, and you're better off anyways if that's the case. So in my experiences, if somebody ghosts you, let them ghost you. If you go after them, it's gonna be worse for you. And if they can't come to terms with, hey, I lost a good girl or I lost a good guy, and come back and wanna reconcile and maybe even tell you the truth, that's on them. It's not on you. You have to worry about yourself. You have to worry about respecting yourself. You have to set boundaries. And when we set boundaries, it also shows the respect that we have for ourselves. And when we have boundaries, it shows that we love ourselves. And when we have boundaries, if somebody doesn't like that, that's their problem, because you love yourself enough to say, hey, guess what? If you're going to treat me like crap and I have to set boundaries and you don't like it, then you got to go, And it's like, it sucks. It does. I love the person. I really do. But I understand. And I've came to a point where I can't help you if you don't want to help yourself. And I shouldn't have to be the one that wants to help you to want to know your self-worth. And as much as it kills me that he doesn't let me, and as much as it kills me that I can't be with him, it's like, it's for the best, because you don't want to be with somebody where you're healed and the other person isn't. If they're not, and they're willing on at least doing things differently and not getting offended when you're trying to help them and be like, hey, I'm just pointing out what you're doing right now. Like, you said you weren't going to do that. And if they want to work on it, then that's cool, like totally cool. But if there's somebody that needs to be right all the time and they don't like taking accountability for their own actions, you're not really going to get anywhere far. Believe me. And I know that my guy, I love him. I really do. I unconditionally love him. I understand him very, 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 very well. But it's also because, like, he's not much different than me. But our experiences could have been different. But everybody feels unworthy at times. Everybody feels like they're not good enough for another person sometimes. Everybody feels like somebody is better than them at some time and point. And if you don't, then awesome. And I'm going to tell you right now, I got to a point where I don't think I'm better than anybody else, and I don't think anybody is better than me. Everybody's equal in God's eyes. Whatever. But your beliefs are what make you. So if you believe that you deserve the best, you will get the best. But if the best does not come, don't settle. And that's where it also comes into play. Okay, so I think that's it for now. I just thought of that the other day because I was watching something and they were talking about ghosting, and I was like listening to it, and they were saying kind of the same thing, but they were saying it differently. And it's like, I hate all these videos where it's like they're kind of like saying how, you know, the person's not a good person and this and that. And it's like, that's not always the case though, because they could be an amazing person with their friends and their family, but it's because they feel good enough around them. If they don't feel good enough around you, believe me, I think I've dealt with 4 guys that I know of that did not have self-respect, did not have self-worth, and had low self-esteem. And like some of them told me, they were like, I don't deserve to be loved by you. And I was like, oh, okay. Thanks for telling me. But at that time and point, I was not in the right state of mind to know that they were right. So I kept doing stupid shit. This was years ago, but still. But you learn, and you learn your self-worth by your beliefs. So I want to stop there. I don't want to do a huge long ass video because I could, but I don't want to. So maybe I'll just do a different video about kind of like the same thing, but not. It'll be a different thing. Yeah. Okay. I love you guys. I hope you have a great night or day wherever you are, whatever time it is you're watching this. All right. Mwah. Bye.